Hello friends and welcome to Digimento. So let's continue with yesterday's lecture. So yesterday we were discussing about human and environment interaction, and in that we were discussing about some of the anthropogenic activities and how these anthropogenic activities, how they impact the environment. So that is what we were discussing yesterday. So if you have joined the classes, please do let me know in the comment section. Please send me a hi or something in the comment section. Okay. So if you are ready, we can start. Today we will be continuing our discussion on this same topic, anthropogenic activities and their impact on environment. And as I said, we will be taking up each and every important anthropogenic activity or human-made activity in detail. We will see what are the causes. We will also be discussing about what is the impact of such activities on the environment and also the impact of such activities on the human being. So this is how we will be approaching this topic. Hi Sumati, if others have also joined the classes, please do let me know in the comment section. So I think we will just wait for some 20-30 seconds for others to join the classes. So please let me know if you have joined. Okay. Harsha, hi. Yuvraj, hi Neetu, hi Lipika, hi Sri Lakshmi. So yeah, I think we will start now. So yes, we will start. Now, this is our channel, and if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe. And also, if you are preparing for GATE, NTA, UGC, NET and PGT Computer Science, we are providing online courses. Please do share it with your friends also. And you can visit our website www.digimento.com, or you can call to this number for getting more details about the courses that we provide. So I think we will start. So before we start, let's quickly have a recap in 1 minute what we learned yesterday. But before that, I wanted to ask you, I was like yesterday also I wanted to ask you this, but I forgot to ask. Could you all please tell me what are your second paper subjects, like which is your subject that you are appearing in the second paper? So can you comment just to see whether you have any background in this social study subjects like ecology and environment or polity or history, so that I will have an idea how deep I have to go or how simple I have to make my topics to make you all understand the topics. Especially in the next unit, we will be dealing some history, post-independence and polity. Some, not everything, but still. So just want to know which is your second paper, so that if you do not have any background, I have to prepare the PPTs and the classes like that. So that's why. Harsha, Yuvraj, Neetu, yeah, you all have your second paper computer science. Okay, so you have done MSc computer science or MCA, or what is that course that you have done? Okay, Sumati, Sri Lakshmi. Okay, you all are from computer science background. So I think when it comes to next unit, I will have to go a little deeper because it is related to history, some of the educational policies, then again some polity related topics are there. So I think we have to go a little deeper, not deeper actually, in the sense that I have to make the lectures little more simple. Okay, Neetu has done MTech, Lipika computer science. Okay, you all are from computer science background. Okay, got it. So we will arrange the classes accordingly. So I wanted to know this. Why? Because if you don't have any base, and if I simply give you some topics and all, then you will not understand. First, we will clarify the basics like we have done in case of ecology, then we will move forward. Okay. So yeah, so yesterday we were discussing about the interaction, how human beings and the environment, how do they interact with each other. So within interactions, there are both positive and negative interactions, as we said yesterday. Both positive interaction as well as negative interaction. There are both positive interaction and negative interaction. Now in positive interaction, we have seen that in the way of positive interaction, human beings actually protect environment and also sustainable development. We have also seen what is the concept of sustainable development in detail. Then we discussed that in the positive interaction, the environment also brings certain benefits for the human beings, like the ecosystem services. We have seen some ecosystem services also. Lipika is asking me when will I start research. Research also I will take up. Maybe after this I will complete unit 10, then we will go to research. So when is your exams actually? The next exams, is it in the month of September? Can someone tell me the dates, if you know the dates? Like I have not updated that, so that's why I'm asking. Accordingly I'll prepare a plan of action. Okay, so these are the positive interactions. Then there are also negative interactions. We have seen that various man-made activities or various anthropogenic activities which cause a negative impact on the environment, and as a result of that the environment will also react in the form of some disasters and diseases. Hi Nirja, hello. So can someone tell me when is the examination? Okay, so let's continue. In between you can comment. Okay, so anthropogenic activities, we have seen atmosphere, how it affects the atmosphere, how it affects the hydrosphere, lithosphere, and biosphere also. Yesterday we have seen biosphere is the part where we have life. Okay. Now we also discussed what is the concept of anthropogenic activity, or what is meant by anthropogenic activity. Then yeah. Nirja has commented maybe September or October. Okay, yeah, dates are not yet confirmed. No, not sure. Maybe last September or after September. Okay, same is the case with most of the exams. I think most of the exams, they are scheduled to be in the month of September, but mostly most of them will be postponed. We are not sure, depending on the situation. I have not applied for this year. I mean this time, so I'm not sure about the dates. I also did not update. I'm sorry. Yeah, Sumati has commented maybe November. Okay. Now, yesterday we saw how we will approach this topic, and yesterday we also discussed two important anthropogenic activities. One is overexploitation of resources and deforestation. Okay, these two we completed. Now let's come to the third one, that is agriculture. Now agriculture is not a negative interaction, but it is a positive interaction. But the problem is that when the environment is misused, or when the over exploitation of environmental resources happen due to agricultural activities, it becomes a negative impact. Actually agriculture is a good thing, or we can say that agriculture is unavoidable. It's much needed, but what happens is that when the ecology, the environment and the resources are misused in the name of agriculture, it becomes a negative thing. Now causes are food and population explosion. Now as the population density, or when the population increases, what will happen? As the population increases, the demand for food also will increase, because consumption has to increase to feed the population. The demand for food will increase. So what will happen? As a result of that, more and more production will take place. So more and more production. But the problem is that now in case of India, we are talking about Indian agriculture. There are many structural issues in Indian agriculture. One is that it is not at all mechanized. That means we do not use any modern facilities like irrigation facilities or use of machinery, etc. in agriculture. It's very less. Now second thing is fragmentation of land holdings. Now we are not talking about Kerala. Even in Kerala, I think in some places, in most places actually, yeah, fragmentation of land holdings means that people have very less land with them. Quantity of land a particular person hold is very less. Now what will happen? Because of fragmentation of land holdings, large scale agriculture or plantation agriculture, or what we can say commercial agriculture, cannot be carried out to a larger extent. Okay, I'll give you some example. For example, a person having 1 acre of land, another one having another 1 acre of land. So what will happen? These people will cultivate individually, and if all these land were held by one single individual, or for example one cooperative, so in that case it would have been very easy. Economies of scale is high in large land, large piece of land. So lesser investment is required in large piece of land, and in order to solve this problem of fragmentation of land holding, the government is now promoting FPOs. Have you heard about this FPOs? Farmer producer organizations. So Farmer producer organizations means nothing, but those farmers who individually hold small pieces of land, they will come together, become a cooperative society, or they form an association and they cultivate together, so that they will be able to make use of economies of scale. Now, what is meant by economies of scale? If I am going faster, please let me know. Okay, so what is meant by economies of scale? Economies of scale means that, okay, let's assume, for example, a particular unit XYZ, it's a factory. Now, it is producing, let's take for example, chairs. So, plastic chairs. So, company XYZ, it's producing plastic chairs. Now, suppose that the target of this company XYZ is to produce 100 chairs every day. Let's assume so. So 100 chairs. Now, for producing this 100 chairs, the cost of this company is 1000 rupees or 10,000 rupees, let us assume. That is 10 rupees into 100. Per unit cost is 10. No, not 10, 100. Sorry. I'm so weak in mathematics. So 100. 2 zeros, 2 0, 4 zeros. Okay. So per unit, that means for producing 1 unit of chair, the company has to spend 100 rupees. So 100 units, it is 10,000 rupees. So this is what. Now the company decided that they are going to increase the production from next month. So company decided to produce 200 units of chair every day. Now the cost is only 15,000, which means that per unit cost is only 75 rupees. Okay. Why? This is because when a company goes into a large scale production, their cost of production will come down. So the economies of scale, or this theory of economies of scale, it simply means that as the unit or as the quantity of production anywhere, it can be in agriculture, it can be in industry. So anywhere when we undertake production, when the quantity that is produced increases, the cost of production will come down. Now, why does this happen? Why does this economies of scale is experienced in large scale production? Now, we saw that for producing 100 chairs, the producer had to incur 10,000 rupees. Now, within this 10,000 rupees, there are two components. One is the fixed component and the variable component. Now, fixed component means those investments like the building rent or building that the person has used for production, then the machinery. So all these are fixed cost. Whereas the variable cost is the employees or the labor, then raw material. So all these are variable cost. Variable cost will remain the same, but in case of fixed cost, what will happen? Even though we increase the production by any number of times, the fixed cost will remain the same. The machinery, depreciation, okay, apart from depreciation, the machinery's cost, once you have made the investment, there is no change. Building also no change. So what will vary is only the wages, the raw material charges, electricity, such things. Variable cost will increase. So that is why in the second case, the fixed cost has not increased, whereas the variable cost has increased. That is why we have seen that when the company has increased its production to 200 units, what has happened? The cost of production has come down. So this is one example. The same is case with agriculture also. When there are fragmented land holdings, the farmers are not able to undertake large scale agriculture. Therefore, what will happen? The cost of production of farmers will be high. Now, as a result of that, the profit margins of the farmers will reduce, and also what will happen? The farmers will not be able to make use of economies of scale. So this is also one feature of Indian agriculture. So because of all these, monsoon dependent is another important feature of Indian agriculture, that 60% of Indian agriculture or 60% of cultivable land in India, area under cultivation, uptakes water only from monsoon. There are no other external sources of irrigation. So all these are some of the important features of Indian agriculture. And because of all that, over exploitation of resources takes place. Now if we are able to solve all these problems to a larger extent, what will happen, we will be able to minimize the exploitation, or we can judiciously use the resources. Now a very good example, okay, I will give you two examples here. One is green revolution. Now under green revolution, what happened, we used high varieties of seeds, high yielding, sorry, not high variety, high yielding variety. So green revolution, we used high yielding varieties of seeds. Also we undertook various measures like use of pesticides, insecticides, fertilizers, etc., in order to drastically increase the production. So target was to increase the production drastically. But as a result of that, the green revolution, the states which adopted the green revolution to a larger extent, these states are the states of Punjab, Haryana, UP, etc. So these are some important states where green revolution was very much impactful. So now if you look, after so many years of implementing the green revolution in these states, if we look, the soil fertility has decreased in these states. Another example is recently it was in the papers, states of Maharashtra, UP, again Punjab. These are all some of the states where the agricultural productivity is very high. So in all these states, there is a severe problem of groundwater crisis. The water table has lowered. There is a huge issue of groundwater crisis. Now what is meant by water table? Suppose this is a land, okay, and water table means from the land, if we see the deeper, if we dig deeper, the point at which we will get access to some water resources, it is called water table. Now water table has lowered means that now you have to dig even more deeper to get access to this water resources. So this is an indication that there is a groundwater crisis, and in future this will lead to drought like situations. So all this has happened because of over exploitation of natural resources. So agriculture, it's a positive meaning, there is a positive meaning or positive connotation to agriculture. But in agriculture, when we undertake over exploitation of natural resources for the sake of agriculture, it creates a negative impact. And why this over exploitation happens is because of population explosion, and due to population explosion there is higher demand for food commodities. So this is the reason. Okay, now why I told you to write the lecture notes is because now suppose I am giving you this PPT, you will just write agriculture, the causes is population explosion, then you will also maybe write what is the impact on ecology, what is the impact on human beings. But see how many points we discussed. We discussed about the features of Indian agricultural system. So we saw what are the features of Indian agriculture. We discussed about green revolution. We also discussed about the areas where green revolution was highly prevalent. We also discussed now what is the impact of, negative impact of green revolution in this present situation. Then we also discussed about the concept of water table. We discussed which are the states that are undergoing a severe groundwater crisis. So all these points we discussed which are not there in the PPT. Not only in my case, whenever a teacher is teaching, I always prefer to write the lecture notes, because those points that the teacher discusses in the class, when I revise, I will immediately get a connection to what was being taught in the class, and it will help me to build a conceptual clarity. That is why I also told you to write the lecture notes. So all these points we discussed in the class which are not there in the PPT. So even though you get the PPT, if you write the lecture notes, it will be even more helpful for you. Okay. Okay. Now, if you have any doubts in all these things that we discussed, because maybe not just from academic perspective, maybe you want to know something more about green revolution or water table or anything from which we discussed, please drop it in the comment section now. I will answer your question and then move forward. Okay, I think we will continue. Now we will see what are the impact of this negative, food and population explosion on environment and also on human beings. Okay, Sri Lakshmi. Okay. Neetu is telling me I know. Okay, do you know me otherwise also? Okay. So yeah. Okay. So impact on ecology and environment, it affects the soil fertility. We have already seen the example of green revolution. So we know how it affects the soil fertility over a long period of time. Maybe in the short term it will be of advantage, like increase in productivity and all, but then after that over a long period of time, what will happen? It affects the soil fertility. Then forest land will be converted into agricultural land. This is also a kind of deforestation, because the forest land, the natural vegetation, actually forest is a natural vegetation, so it will be converted into agriculture land. Okay, so agriculture is not a natural vegetation, that is artificial, that is man-made. Now it affects the nitrogen cycle. Why? Because nitrogen cycle, because of the pollutants and the growth of vegetation, it affects the nitrogen cycle. Then eutrophication. Eutrophication, how eutrophication takes place? Okay, so Neetu, oh, okay. So I have been there, like in the past many times. I'll meet you sometime, Neetu, in Trivandrum. After all this lockdown and all, we will sometime meet. Okay. So eutrophication, basically, eutrophication, you know what it is. We have discussed about the concept of eutrophication. Now, how does agriculture or over exploitation, how it leads to eutrophication? Because in agriculture, when there is over exploitation, what will happen? Use of pesticides, insecticides, fertilizers, etc. are very high if we go for some shortcuts. Like in case of green revolution also, what happened? We used pesticides, insecticides, fertilizers, etc. over a particular limit. So what will happen? These are all pollutants which will be carried away by agents like the wind, water, soil, etc. Finally, it can reach the water bodies, creating eutrophication. Okay, now impact on human beings, man-animal conflict. How man-animal conflict? Man-animal conflict because forest is cleared for undertaking agricultural activities. So when forest land is cleared for undertaking agricultural activities, what will happen? The wildlife or the animals living in the forest, they will lose their habitat. It will lead to man-animal conflict. Then pollution. Pollution, why? Because of overuse of chemicals in agriculture. Toxic chemicals can also enter the underground water. So underground water means that those water that we access from wells, ponds, etc. So as a result of that, this will enter the food chain, and it can even directly enter the food chain of human beings. So again causing many issues for the diseases, actually for the human beings also. So any doubts, let me know. Sumati, Harsha, Yuvraj, Neetu, Lipika, Sri Lakshmi, and also Nirja. Any doubts, anybody? Okay, I think we will continue. So this is the first topic that we discussed today, agriculture. Now, let's see how technological advancement. So how does it affect the ecology and also the human beings? So basically the causes, they are productivity enhancement, make jobs easier, and to increase the quality of life. Now can you give me some examples of increasing the quality of life and how it is causing the damage to environment? So what are some of the technological advancements that affects the environment, but at the same time which we human beings use to increase the quality of life? There are many examples, real life examples, everyday daily examples. Can someone tell me? Tell me some examples where the technological advancement helps in improving the quality of life, whereas it affects the environment. Okay, construction of buildings, very good example, especially when these buildings are constructed on some places where there was a huge vegetation and all, then definitely the impact is going to be even more. Giving incentives, bonus, profit share. Okay. some daily life examples. Tell me, okay, my question is very simple. Tell me some of the technological advancements which has improved the quality of your living or have made your life easier. Then tell me the same technological advancements which has a negative impact on the ecology. For human beings, the quality of life has increased because of these technology, but has a negative impact on the environment. Use of mobile phones, okay. Car, vehicles, transport, yes. Service sector, yes. Digital world, yes. So some examples. Use of automobiles. Use of automobiles will improve the quality of your life, will make your life more easier. Is it? But what is the impact? Emissions. So emissions as a result of use of automobiles, it has a negative impact on the environment. Now, tell me another example. AC, refrigerators. So we use air conditioners, refrigerators, etc. So these have a positive impact, or we can say that the quality of our life increases. So during summer, if you use AC, you will feel better. So your quality of life increases. Also, life becomes more easier for you. But what is the impact? What is the impact on environment? We have seen this explicitly, that the use of air conditioners and refrigerators, they emit what is called CFCs or chlorofluorocarbons, or hydrochlorofluorocarbons also we can say, HFCs or CFCs, which has a direct impact with what? This is my question. ACs and refrigerators, they emit chlorofluorocarbons or hydrofluorocarbons, and these hydrofluorocarbons or chlorofluorocarbons are very much harmful to what? We have discussed this already. Tell me the answer. Okay, Sri Lakshmi has commented waste from hospital. Yes. Cell phone towers, very good. Sumati has commented that. Negative impact of electronic waste. Yes, Neetu, very good answer. Preservation of food. Yes. E-waste, CFC. Yes. Ozone layer. Yes, Yuvraj has commented ozone layer. That is the correct answer. When we discussed about ozone depletion, we said that CFCs and HFCs has a direct impact on ozone. Yes, ozone depletion. So, this is how technological advancement, it is of use to the human beings, but it is at the cost of environment. Now, for the environment and ecology, it disturbs the order of nature. It also leads to loss of habitat and biodiversity. Like Sumati has commented, I think it was Sumati who commented construction of buildings. No, Sri Lakshmi. So construction of building means if a forest is cleared for construction of some building or roads or something, then there is a habitat loss for the animals and it negatively impacts the biodiversity. It disturbs the order of the nature. Now, how it affects the human beings. Now, it's true that air conditioners, refrigerators, automobiles, mobile phones, everything, it makes our life easier. The quality of life increases. Now, can you imagine a situation during this lockdown? You cannot go out. You cannot do anything without your mobile phone or without your TV or things like that. Can you imagine a life? You have most of your entertainment done on the mobile phone. You have even classes on your mobile phone. So all these things definitely makes your life even more better. But this can lead to radiation, new diseases, scientific errors, etc. And moreover, the impact on environment. Basically, in the long run, these impact on environment like loss of biodiversity, loss of habitat for animals, these will negatively impact the human beings over a long period of time. Like man-animal conflicts, loss of biodiversity can lead to alteration in the food chain. So, all these can be the impacts. If it's clear also, please tell me. Continue. Okay. So, let's continue. Next, we will see what is exotic species and how it causes a alteration to the ecology and how it also creates a disadvantage for the human beings. Now, tell me what is exotic species? Have you heard of this term exotic species? At least you must have heard of the term exotic fruits. When you go to a supermarket, you must have seen there are some boards kept like some exotic fruits. So, what is meant by exotic species? which are available less, not actually, that is not the correct definition of exotic species, but yes, the quantity is less for sure, but what is meant by exotic species is that alien species or foreign species. So these are all foreign type, yes. So exotic species means some foreign species or some alien species, etc., which are not earlier found or not earlier naturally found in a ecosystem. So these are called exotic species, which means they have arrived into a particular ecosystem. It can be due to natural reasons or it can be due to man-made factors. So they are rare also, yes. In that particular ecosystem, they are rare. That is because they are newly introduced into that ecosystem. So exotic species means those foreign species or alien species or non-native, we can say. That is the right word. Non-native species which were not earlier naturally found in a particular ecosystem, whereas now it has reached that particular ecosystem as a result of either natural factors or due to man-made factors. Now the causes of introduction of alien species or exotic species into an ecosystem is its attractiveness. These species get attracted to an ecosystem for various reasons and they therefore appear and grow and multiply in that particular ecosystem. Now I'll give you examples also. Then quality and quantity use. So because of some of the natural or man-made factors in a particular ecosystem, these alien species, they get attracted and they come and multiply. So they increase in numbers in that particular ecosystem. Now I'll give you some examples. Wheat, oats, these were all once alien species, which means they were not naturally found here. But later on we started developing them depending on the quality of this species. It can be plants or animals, depending on the quality and also depending on the utility of these species. We started by man-made methods, we started to multiply them, and that is why use, that is according to their utility, the quantity and quality, depending on all that, the species get multiplied. Now a very good example of exotic species from today's perspective, contemporary perspective, is GM crops, genetically modified crops. They are in a way exotic, not actually, we cannot say that GM crops fall under the category of exotic species, but they can be an example because they are not naturally found here. Maybe some varieties of like BT brinjal, brinjal is naturally found, but what we have done is we have modified it genetically. So the new genetically modified species or genetically modified brinjal, it's alien or it's exotic. So exotic species means those are not naturally found earlier. They are alien, foreign or non-native, but now they are found. Now the impact on ecosystem. So what are the impact of exotic species on environment? Biodiversity loss. How does biodiversity loss happen? Because when an exotic species or an alien species is introduced into a new ecosystem, the already existing species, plants and animals in the ecosystem can be threatened. So suppose in a forest, a new alien species, whether an animal or a plant, it's introduced. So maybe because of natural factors, maybe because of man-made factors. When this new species is introduced in this particular forest ecosystem, there are already existing vegetation, there are already existing animals, there are already existing species. So these species can be threatened due to the arrival of this exotic species. So what will happen? Some of the already existing species, they may not be able to survive. Therefore, it can lead to biodiversity loss. And the invasive nature of the exotic species, and then the extinction. So many species which were already found in the ecosystem, it can become extinct. Extinct means disappearance. It will not be seen anymore. Now what are the impact on human beings? Due to exotic species, what can be the impact on human beings? There can be pollen allergies, spread of vector-borne diseases, and even the zoonotic diseases. to an extent, zoonotic diseases are as a result of some of the exotic species. Now, a very good example of such an exotic species is the Nipah virus, which was carried out, or the Nipah virus was transmitted to the human beings through a fruit bat. So this fruit bat, it is considered to be a exotic species, not the normal bat that is seen usually. So Nipah virus, it was carried by a fruit bat to the human beings. So from there, human to human transmission happened. Now for those who are from the Neetu has commented introduction of new animals to zoo from other countries. Zoo, to an extent, it will not be affected. Why? Because zoo is a protected ecosystem, and if we see that it's in situ and sorry, it's ex situ, not in situ, I'm sorry. In situ and ex situ means that in situ means within that particular ecosystem itself we are protecting animals, and ex situ means that we are protecting the animals outside the ecosystem. Now, if an national park or biosphere reserves, so all these are examples of in situ. So animals are protected within this ecosystem. Ex situ means zoo, botanical gardens, etc., where we take the species, plants and animals from their natural ecosystem and we conserve them in a different ecosystem. So here what happens in zoo, what will happen? The contact of this exotic species with that of other species is very less. So there are lesser chances in zoo, but if the same example Neetu, we can use it in case of national park or biosphere reserves or even in a forest. If some new animals from a different country, if it comes to a zoo, if it comes to a forest or a national park or a biosphere reserve in our country, then what will happen? Then this can lead to extinction of some of the existing species. In zoo, it is protected. It's already protected. So there is lesser chances of extinction. Okay. I hope you got it. Now we were discussing about the Nipah virus, which is carried out by a fruit bat. Now those people from South India, don't think that I am discriminating, because I don't discriminate anyone based on the location or anything, but just that I know those things in South India better. That's why I am giving these examples. If anyone from South India, I know there are a few from South India, maybe even North Indians or from any part of the country, if you have seen this movie Virus, because Nipah virus was largely concentrated on some southern parts, like in Kerala also, it was just restricted to some of the some districts like Calicut and Malappuram and all in Kerala. So if you have seen that movie, towards the end of the movie, they are showing the species. So we will see that it's a fruit bat, and the fruit bat also, it's not a commonly found fruit bat, it is rather an exotic species. So this exotic species has carried this Nipah virus and transmitted it to a human being and further transmitted to other human beings. Okay, so that is how the zoonotic diseases can be transmitted from the exotic species. Also vector-borne diseases, the pollen allergies, etc. Okay, I hope you got it, the exotic species. I was thinking we will finish this unit today, but I don't think we will be able to. Already I have exceeded the time limit. Yeah, Sri Lakshmi has commented, in aquarium if you introduce, yes, you must have seen, if in aquarium, if you go to an aquarium shop and the shopkeeper, if he is very much aware about this fishes and all, they will tell you not to buy some combinations, especially some exotic fishes, because if you introduce some exotic fishes, what will happen in aquarium itself, you will see that the other ones which were already there, they will be dead, sometimes eaten by this new fishes. Okay, that is why most of the times what we do is some combinations can be introduced, otherwise not. Yes, that is also a very good example. That's like, you know, an example where you can actually connect. Like aquarium, you must have all seen some aquariums, and if you yourself have not even an aquarium, like I have a very small bowl where like I keep some fishes and all. So if I introduce some fishes, some exotic fishes, the already existing ones, they will be in a danger of extinction. Sometimes it will eat, or otherwise they cannot survive together. So this is the point, exotic species. Even this can be harmful to human beings also. Some kind of animals or even some pets, you know, If you have some kind of pets, some exotic pets, like even some birds, like I'm very much allergic to the feathers of birds. Some powder is there now, so from the feathers they will release some powder, so even for that I am very much allergic, so I don't have any pet birds. So if, especially if we introduce some exotic species, some parrots, some from some foreign countries and all, it can cause some kind of allergies, not for everyone but for many people. Okay, I hope you got it. Tomorrow we have industrialization, mining, transport sector. So 3 things tomorrow we will cover. I think 3 of them will go together because all are connected: industrialization, mining, and also the transport sector. So we will take up tomorrow these 3 things, and by tomorrow we will wind up this particular subtopic also. Then we will move into the 4th one. We have completed first. Now this is the second one. Third we already completed. So we will move into the 4th one. And there are total 7 subtopics for you. After that, 4, 5, 6 and 7. After completing that, we will go into previous year questions. In another like 15 days to 20 days, we will be able to cover the entire unit 9. And then we will move to unit 10, then further to research. Lipika has asked me which book do you recommend for paper 1. Actually, I will suggest you not to go for any books because paper 1 its questions are very simple. First of all, I think you can go for the help from internet itself, maybe YouTube videos or some materials from internet, because if you can give the topics and then search in the internet, you will get ample material and you can make your own lecture notes for that, and then you can follow that. For unit 9, I will take care of that completely. You need not worry about anything regarding unit 9. I'll make sure that every question, at least 95% of the questions asked from unit 9, you will be able to answer. We will go accordingly. If you need any conceptual clarity or anything, please let me know. And also please go through the previous lecture notes that you have made and let me know tomorrow if you have any doubts. Tomorrow we will take up that also. If you have any doubts, any conceptual clarity is required, let me know. We will do that and then we will move ahead. So I think we will wind up for today. So everyone take care. If you have any questions, please do post it. Otherwise also tomorrow we will take up the first 2-3 minutes up to 5 minutes for clearing your doubts. So tomorrow when you come to attend the class, please make sure you have gone through the previous lecture notes and make sure you have some doubt. Okay. Current affairs related to this unit, that also we will cover. Assertion type questions, yes, lot of assertion type questions are seen from this this particular unit. So everything, I will cover everything. There are some around 200 questions that I have prepared from the last 10 years question papers from this unit. So we will discuss every 200, all of these 200 questions. Some close to 200 questions are there. We will discuss all of them. Okay. Okay, we will do that. So I think we will wind up for today. I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye. Hello and welcome to Digimento. So today we will be continuing our discussion on anthropogenic activities and their impact on environment. Till yesterday we were discussing this topic about various anthropogenic activities, various man-made activities, and how these man-made activities, how they are impacting the environment. We have already completed almost 3 lectures in the series, in this subtopic itself. So in this subtopic itself we have completed 3 lectures. So with today's lecture we will be completing this subtopic. As I already told you in the first class we discussed about the syllabus, the unit 9 syllabus we discussed in detail. And we also had an introduction about the NET examination, especially regarding paper 1. This was the first class. So from the second class onwards, we started with the syllabus. In the second class, we took up the important terms and terminologies, if you remember. So we discussed important terms and terminologies important for your examination from unit 9 to make you familiarize with this particular unit. So terms and terminologies. Then we moved into the first, second and third. So we have, like, with today's lecture we will complete the first 3 subtopics in the Unit 9. So with this we will cover the first 3 subtopics. Then we have only 4, 5, 6 and 7. 4 more subtopics to go in this particular unit, and after that we will cover all the previous 10-year questions asked in the NET examination from this particular unit or from this particular module, 9th unit. Okay. So this is how we will proceed further. I am waiting for people, my students, to join the classes. If you have joined, please do send me a hi or hello so that I'll know where you have joined the examination. So please do send me a hi. Okay, so that we will start with the classes. Okay. So nobody has joined the class. If anybody has joined, please do let me know so that we will just proceed with the class. Hi Neetu. Nobody else has joined. Yuvaraj, hi. So I think until others join the classes, we will quickly revise whatever we have learned till now. We will take 2 minutes to revise so that others will also join by that time. So let's start. But before that, this is our channel, and if you have not yet subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends if you like it. If you are preparing for GATE, NTA, UGC NET or PGT Computer Science, we are providing online courses for the same. You can avail the courses. Also, you can find the details of the courses on our website www.digimentor.com, or you can call to this number to get more details about it. Hi Shaikh. Shaikh Yaqub has also joined the classes. So until others join our classes, we will just revise whatever we were learning till yesterday. Okay, so we said that human and environment interaction. So when human beings and the environment interact with each other, it can be both positive interaction. Positive interaction means both the human beings and the environment, they are benefited out of this interaction. So this is called positive interaction. So it can be either positive interaction or it can be negative interaction. Now within positive interaction, human beings they protect the environment and also become a part of the sustainable development, whereas environment in return will provide ecosystem services to the human beings. So this is how positive interaction among the human beings and the environment takes place. So this is positive interaction. Now there can also be negative interaction, which means that due to environment human interaction, both human beings and the environment are negatively impacted, or even if one is negatively impacted, we call it as negative interaction. Why? Because if one factor, that is either human being or environment, either of this one, if one of the factors, environment or human beings, have been negatively impacted, then without much delay the other one also will be negatively impacted. For example, due to some developmental activity, cutting down a forest, suppose for example the human activity is deforestation. Now due to this deforestation, the environment is affected, the ecological balance is lost. But even though in the beginning the negative impact is only on environment, what will happen after some period of time, what will happen? The human beings will also face the negative consequences like climate change, delay in monsoons, delay in rainfall, all that will happen. So even though one factor, that is either the human being or the environment, either one of them is impacted, means it will automatically affect the other one also. Okay. Okay, I think others have joined now. Hi Lipika, hi Sumati, hi Sri Lakshmi. Okay. So we were just revising whatever we learned till yesterday, and we also discussed how anthropogenic activities affect different spheres of life, like the atmosphere. Atmosphere is the air, hydrosphere, that is the water, and also lithosphere. So the culmination of all these spheres is biosphere, and biosphere is the a sphere where we can see life. Okay, life is possible in biosphere. Okay. Now we also discussed what is anthropogenic activity. Then we also discussed some of the anthropogenic activity. The first one was over exploitation of resources. We have discussed about the causes. impact on environment and impact on human beings. Okay, you can just go through, you can take like 5 seconds or 10 seconds each to just glance through each one of them, and we will then come to today's topic. Second one, we discussed about deforestation. You can quickly recap whatever we have learned in the class. So this is regarding deforestation. Causes, impact on both human beings and the environment. Then we discussed about agriculture, how agriculture can turn into a negative anthropogenic activity, how it can turn out to be negative. Then we discussed about technological advancements, like how it affects the environment and human beings. Then very important is exotic species, which we discussed yesterday. I hope you are clear with what is exotic species. Also till yesterday's lecture, if you have any doubts, you can raise it now also. Okay, yesterday I already told you, you have to revise and come, and the first maybe 5 minutes we will take for clearing your doubts and all. So if you have any doubts, you can tell me now. We will clear it off and go. Then today we will take up industrialization, mining and transport sector. So these are the 3 things we will take up today. So until whatever we are completed, we have completed. If you have any queries, please do ask me here. So quickly take 30 seconds and you can put the questions, or otherwise if it's clear for you, then you can comment that also. Okay, so hi Nirja, hi, hello. So I think it's clear for you, so let's carry forward. Okay, so now we will come to it's okay Nirja, we did not discuss much today till now. We were just revising, we were waiting for you people to come and join, so we did not discuss much. So I was just recapping whatever was taught till yesterday. So here we are only about to start the classes for today. Okay, so let's start with industrialization. Now tell me, what is your idea about industrialization? You must have heard about industrialization many times. So what is your idea about industrialization? What is meant by industrialization? Please do comment in the comment section, what is industrialization? Neetu is asking me, air pollution can be both regional and local issue. Yes, it can be both regional issue and local issue. Like for example, suppose a particular region in the sense that we call it is not just one country or like that. So it can be both regional as well as local. How? Suppose there are some, suppose a particular continent or a particular region. Let's take for example Asia. Asia is considered to be a region, or within Asia itself, South Asia or Southeast Asia, these are all considered to be particular regions. So what happens is that when a particular region, when there are factors that contribute towards air pollution, then region wise also air pollution can be an issue. But also let us take the case of India. In case of India, there is a belt like Punjab, Haryana and adjoining NCR, even UP and NCR, National Capital Region, or Delhi we can say. So this belt, what happened during the winter season, the air pollution level is very, very high. The pollutants in the air is very high. So here it is a local issue. Whereas when it comes to a region, especially in highly industrialized regions, it is a regional issue. So it can be both regional as well as local. Okay. Now, Nirja has commented, setting up industries using machineries for fast production. Yes. Yuvraj has commented, creating jobs, increasing economy. Yes, but basically the definition of industrialization, yes, whatever you have told me, it is correct. Lipika has commented, increase in the number of industry. Yes, all these are correct. But the term industrialization, actually this term itself, it refers to moving of focus of economic activity of a country from primary sector or agricultural sector to industrial sector, secondary sector or manufacturing sector. So industrialization, basically if you look into any country, okay, Okay, if you take the example of any country, in the initial stages of the country's development or any country's history, if you take, every country started with agriculture, isn't it? If you look into the older civilizations, in case of India, we have Indus Valley civilization, where agriculture was supposed to be, according to historians, agriculture was practiced. Then during the later stages, what happened? There were some industries, but primary activity of the human beings were agriculture. So basically, industrialization means that shifting of focus of a country's economic activity. Agriculture is an economic activity. Okay, but before that, I'll tell you one more thing. We have basically three sectors. Most of you must be knowing, but since yesterday you people told me you are from computer science background, if you do not know this basic social sciences, it's not your mistake. So I will just explain it to you. It is like, if I am asked some questions from science or computer science or mathematics, I will not be able to answer. My area of interest and what I have learned is social sciences. So that's why I'll be knowing more. But if it comes to your subject, I may not be knowing anything. So don't think that you are asking a stupid question, or don't think that what I will think about you. Don't think like that. So even if you have some very, very basic questions, I'm ready to answer it, and we are here to help you. So please put your questions, whatever it is, even though you feel that it's a very silly question, also put it. And maybe that is how you clear the doubts of others also. Okay. So before that, we need to understand three sectors of an economy. So first sector is called the primary sector, or what we call as the agricultural sector. So here, how is the definition of primary sector or agricultural sector given? Agricultural sector or primary sector is where the economic activity, job or whatever job we do, it is termed as economic activity in economics. So whatever economic activity, it has a link with the natural resources, it is called primary sector. So natural resources, if a particular economic activity is carried out and there is a direct link with the natural resources, it is called agricultural sector or the primary sector. We can say it as primary sector, and that is how it is technically known as. Example is agriculture. Primary sector includes agriculture because there is an association with the natural resources like land, water, etc. Then another one is fishing. Then some other examples, cattle rearing. So all these which has a direct link with the natural resources, it is called the primary sector. Secondary sector, we have industries, and that is why it is also known as industrial sector. And we also have a tertiary sector, which is otherwise called services sector because it deals with services. Now, what is meant by industrialization? Industrialization means nothing but basically for every country or for every economy. Basically for every country and for every economy, primarily during the initial stages of those countries' development, people will be dependent upon the primary sector. Now in case of India also, if we see, so basically we are an agricultural dependent economy, but during the later stages of development, what happens is that the country slowly moves towards secondary sector and the tertiary sector. Now in case of India, the tertiary sector has seen a boom, especially after 1991, after the new economic policy of 1991. New economic policy included three major reforms. One is globalization, another one is liberalization, another one is privatization, or rather you can call it as LPG policy also, liberalization, privatization and globalization. So basically after the 1991 reforms, the tertiary sector in India has seen a boom. But what about the secondary sector or the industrial sector? The industrial sector or the secondary sector in India started to witness a boom after the second 5-year plan. Second 5-year plan was from the period of 1956. So 1956 onwards, we adopted the second 5-year plan. And after that, because in the second 5-year plan, major focus was given on building industries. So after that, industries in India started to boom, even though there were many industries even before independence also. But government policy towards industrialization got more attention after the second 5-year plan. Now, the purpose of telling you or explaining to you all this background is just to make you aware about the history of industrialization in India. So basically what happens, every economy in the initial stages, they are dependent upon agriculture. Now what happens in agriculture is that the GDP, see, okay, I'll use a different color. Okay, the problem with agricultural sector is that the GDP growth or the productivity or the contribution of GDP by the agricultural sector remains very low. Now in case of India, even though more than 50% of India's population is dependent upon agricultural sector provides only around 16% of the GDP, which means more than half of India's workforce is engaged in agricultural activity, but it contributes around 16% to the GDP. So this is the problem with agriculture. And industrialization, the industries or the secondary sector and the tertiary sector, their contribution to the GDP is very high. And we know GDP is used to measure the growth of a country. So GDP is the indicator, growth indicator of a country. Now, for every country, the target is to achieve higher rates of growth and development. So for that, what countries do is they shift from agricultural sector and give more focus to secondary sector and tertiary sector, especially to the secondary sector, in order to ensure that the GDP growth rate of the country is very high. The country attains high rate of growth and development. Also, it creates lot of employment opportunities. And the external sector, that is the export and import, which is called the external sector. So external sector of the economy also booms. Let us take the example of China. China is considered to be a highly developed manufacturing sector country in the world. So China's manufacturing, we know the export of China is very high. The volume of exports of China is very high. That is because of its focus on manufacturing activities. Now, these are all the advantages for a country if the secondary sector of a country is more developed. So in order to develop the secondary sector, what is done? A shift is made in case of policies and priorities from the primary sector, that is from the agricultural sector to the secondary sector, which is called industrialization. So you also told me the correct answer. Yuvaraj, Neerja, Lipika, all of you has said the correct thing. Industrialization means increase in the number of industries. But the technical definition can be that when a country focuses more on industrial sector as compared to the primary sector, or rather the shift made from primary sector or the agricultural sector to the secondary sector is called industrialization. Okay, I hope you got it. Now, the problem of industrialization is that as industrialization increases, okay, I'll just rub it so that I can write more. Okay, the problem. Okay, there are both benefits and also problems. So let's first see what are the problems. So problems of industrialization is that, first thing, it will lead to environmental consequences, or it has a negative impact on the environment. Why? Because the industrial sector, it uses a lot of natural resources. So natural resources are used, and sometimes or most of the times it leads to over exploitation of natural resources. So environment consequence is that it leads to over exploitation of natural resources. Now, second thing is that apart from over exploitation of natural resources, it also leads to negative externalities. Negative externalities means for example, pollution is an example of negative externality, which means the contribution of this industries towards the nature, it is negative in nature most of the times. For example, emission of industrial waste, gases. So all these are some negative externalities. Pollution is a very important negative externality. So it causes problem to the environment in the long run. And in the short run, what are the benefits of industrialization? It increases productivity. So it increases productivity means that it increases the output. So productivity or output. Now, what is GDP? It is the monetary value of the goods and services produced in an economy in a particular financial year. So GDP measures the output. So as the productivity increases, GDP of the country or of that particular region increases, and as the GDP increases, the growth will increase because GDP is the measurement of growth. Secondly, machines also make the work easier. That is, the output, again the output will increase. So these are the advantages. But the problem is that if the industries does not adhere to sustainable development, then definitely it is going to harm the future generations. That is what we call as the negative externalities. Okay, so if the industries or if the corporates does not take into account the factor called sustainable development, then this will have a negative consequence. I hope you got what is the idea of industrialization. Now the impact of industrialization on ecology, we have already discussed that. So resource depletion, that is because of overuse of the resources. Because of overuse of the resources, it leads to resource depletion and pollution. This is a externality. Okay, so this is the impact on ecology. Now impact on human beings. As we said, the benefits of industrialization or high rate of industrialization on human beings, it is only short term. Why? Because if the environment, that is what we discussed in anthropogenic activities. So if the ecology or the environment is harmed, then even though it is beneficial to the human beings in the short run, in the long run what will happen? Definitely the ecology and the environment will react back. So that will cause a large number of issues for human beings. So in the long run, issues like accidents, health hazards, acid rain, ocean acidification, ozone depletion, and any kind of disasters or any kind of diseases or any kind of consequences can be expected. So this is the impact on human beings. I hope you got it. If you have understood, please let me know. Nirja has commented it's clear. So for others also, if it's clear, please let me know so that we can move to the next topic. If it's not clear, if anything is not clear, or if you have any doubts out of this, please do ask me. And do remember that don't think that your doubts are too silly. Sometimes your doubt may be a reason for clearing some other queries for other people also. So whatever the doubt is, I can understand you are from a different background. You have no clue, or like maybe in your college at least you were not aware, or you were not able to study all these social study subjects. So if you have any queries, you can ask me. So just take 30 seconds. See if anything is there, any doubts are there. Pinky has commented it's clear. Okay, thank you Pinky. Anything else? Anybody? Any doubts? Now, can you tell me, mining, we have now discussed about the three sectors of our economy. First is the primary sector. Second one is the secondary sector, or what we call as industrial sector, or we can put it like in technical terms as secondary sector, and we also have the tertiary sector. So I told you the definitions, how these sectors are identified. So now can someone tell me whether mining will come in primary sector, secondary sector, or in tertiary sector? This is just to check whether you understood. You all told me it's clear. So tell me, in which sector will mining come? Mining and quarrying. Second, primary. Tell me in which? Secondary or primary? Okay, nobody has commented tertiary. Tell me primary or secondary. Secondary. Okay. Okay, so what did I tell you when I told you the definition for primary sector? Any economic activity which has a direct link with the natural resources will come under the primary sector. So mining and quarrying. What is mining? Mining is the extraction of minerals. So mining is nothing but the extraction of minerals. And from where do you extract these minerals? You extract these minerals from the earth. Is it? So is it directly related to the natural resources? Yes or no? Yes, it is directly related to the primary resources. So mining and quarrying both will come under the primary sector. Okay, now I will explain it to you to make it further clear. Okay, now I'll explain. In some textbooks, okay, I'm giving you some clarity regarding this. So in some textbooks you will see that there are three classification of economic activity: agricultural sector, industrial sector, and the services sector. Okay. Now, in most of the books, or technically in the government documents, in whichever government document you see, for example, economic survey, it's a government document. So such kind of government documents, if you see, the classification is like primary, secondary and tertiary. But there are some textbooks which uses these terms called agricultural sector, industrial sector and the services sector. Now the difference, because you might have some doubts later, that's why I want to clear it now itself. So that's why I'm explaining this to you now. Now, in this first case, that is, in some textbooks you will see agricultural sector, industrial sector and service sector. So in such textbooks, agricultural sector means agriculture plus allied activities. Now what are the allied activities of agriculture? Allied activities means cattle rearing, fishing, or such kind of allied activities, agricultural related activities. Okay, so this is one thing. I'll just write down one more point so that I will explain it later. Otherwise I'll forget, that's why. Okay. So if the classification is like agriculture, industry and service sector, then only agriculture and allied services will come under the agricultural sector. Here quarrying and mining will not come. But in most of the books, or even in the government documents, the classification is primary, secondary and tertiary. So here what is important? Primary sector, in its definition itself, it means that any economic activity which has a direct link with the natural resources, it will come under primary sector. So here, apart from agriculture and allied services, what all will come? Mining and quarrying also will come. Why? Because mining and quarrying is a part of primary sector, because it has a direct linkage with the natural resources. Okay. So this is the difference. Now, if the classification is the first category, that is agriculture, industry and service sector, then here remember that in this classification, quarrying and mining will come under the industrial sector. But if the question is primary, secondary and tertiary, remember that mining and quarrying will come under primary sector. Most of the time question, 99.9% questions will be like primary, secondary and tertiary, because the reason is that I told you in the government documents also this classification is used. Now, if in case you see questions like agricultural sector, industrial sector and service sector, then quarrying and mining will come under industrial sector. But 99.9% chances question will be asked only this way, primary, secondary and tertiary. So remember that any economic activity which has a direct link with the natural resources, it is classified under the primary sector. So our mining and quarrying will also come under the primary sector. I hope this is clear for you. If you have any doubts, please do ask me, make a clarity. Now the point which I want to tell you, one more thing. What about food processing? Food processing means you are adding some value to the food or agricultural commodities. So is it related to agriculture or is it related to industry? So in which category? Primary, secondary or tertiary food processing will come? Food processing under primary, secondary or tertiary? You have to tell me this. I'll give you an example of food processing. Potato, it's a food. Now processing is potato chips, your Lays or Bingo that you eat. That is food processing. Okay. Or like lemon and then pickle. Pickle is processed food. Okay. Or fruits, jam is processed. So food processing, processing or food processing, it means primary or secondary. Sri Lakshmi has commented secondary. Okay, I'm waiting for others' answers also. What is quarrying? Quarrying is also like, quarrying of rocks. Quarrying, what can I tell you the exact meaning of quarrying? Okay, quarrying. Have you heard of quarries? crusher metal industries. So quarrying means extraction of this rocks or stones, such kind of things. Even you can include sand, gravels, etc. also. Yeah, granite, it's an example. Yes, granite is an example. Okay, now let's see the answers. Okay, Sri Lakshmi has commented secondary, Pinky secondary, Shaik secondary, Sumati secondary, Neetu, Lipika, everyone has commented secondary. Okay, your answer is correct. So food processing will come under secondary sector. Don't think that it will come under the primary sector. This is because primary sector is only the extraction of the agricultural produce. Yeah, extra something is added to its natural form. Yes. So food processing will come under secondary sector, whereas quarrying and mining will come under primary sector. I hope this is clear for you. If it's not clear, please do mention in the comments. Now, the causes why mining is carried out, it is for extracting resources, especially minerals, and also for energy. Minerals and energy. We can rather say resources, not just limited to minerals, but some resources. Okay. Even for extracting fossil fuels, we carry out mining. Okay. Now, the impact on environment. It will lead to environment depletion, contamination of soil, water, soil erosion, etc. So, these are the impacts on environment. And what are the impacts on human beings? It can lead to water pollution, accidents, etc. I hope this is clear for you. If not, please do let me know in the comment section. If it's clear also, please tell me. Okay, it's clear. So, can we move forward? We have just one more topic left, that is the transport sector. Now, you have to tell me in which sector does transportation come? Primary, secondary or tertiary? Okay, the confusion most of you must be having is between secondary and tertiary. Now tell me primary, okay, we can eliminate. Secondary or tertiary? So in which sector does the transportation or transport sector come? Shaik is asking me how it will lead to accident. There are so many cases, so many incidents where there were accidents related to mining and quarrying. That's why we also have some legislations being passed recently to protect the workers in the mining sector. So like for example, explosion, when they are exploring this natural resources and all, mining is usually done very deep beneath the surface of the earth. So there are lot number of chances of accidents, volcanic eruptions, or like harmful materials like erupting from the earth's underground surface. So all these are some of the chances, and that is why we have a Khanij, I don't exactly remember the name of the scheme. It's called something called Khanij Kshetra Yojana or something, which is to protect the workers in the mining sector because of the increasing number of accidents in the mining industry, mining sector. Okay. So Yuvraj has commented it will come under tertiary sector. Yes, transport sector will come under the tertiary sector, whereas production of automobiles, that is the automobile production, will come under the secondary sector, but the transportation sector, this is a tertiary sector because it is a service. The buses public transport you use or the railways you use, it's all a service, but the manufacturing of these automobiles or train or aeroplane, all these manufacturing of these things will come under the secondary sector, whereas the usage or the transportation, it will come under the tertiary sector. I hope it is clear for you. Yes, everyone has commented tertiary sector or services sector. Yes. Nirja has commented harmful gases also affect workers. Yes, that's a very important point, especially during mining. See, basic difference between mining and quarrying is that quarrying is extraction of rock, sand or stones, etc. So you don't have to go so much underground or beneath the earth. But in case of mining, we have to go so well beyond the earth's surface that we even do not know what are the components present there. It can be harmful gases also. So all these have led to many number of accidents in the past, and that's why we have important legislations being made recently to protect the life and the security of the workers in the mining sector. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now, the causes, like why do we use much transportation? It's because the transport sector, for easy transportation, what we do when the standard of living of people increases. Okay, I'll give you an example to make it clear for you. Suppose, for example, your parents, your total family income was 10,000 rupees per month. So with 10,000 rupees, it's very difficult to live. But there are lot number of, okay, I'm not telling that way, because I personally know so many people, so many families whose income is much less than this 10,000. Okay, so basically, okay, now let's assume that your family income, total family income, whoever is working in your family, the total income is 10,000. So what you will do with this 10,000 rupee, you have to purchase food. Then the parents in the family must also be financing for the education of children. If somebody in the family feels sick, health care, then they also need transportation expenses, like if they are traveling to the office or the workplace through a bus or something, transportation expenses. Then so many other expenses, very well. So there are so many expenses in a family. You have to pay the electricity bill. Then if you do not have a house, you have to pay the rent of the house. So many expenses. Okay. Now, suppose this family, there were 2 kids, 2 children. You are one among the children. Okay. So 2 children. Suppose you have a younger brother also. Younger brother or younger sister or anyone. So you are one person. Okay, you and your younger one. Now suppose you cleared this NET examination and you got placed in a government college. So you got a job in a government college. Now what has happened? Your family income will increase. Suppose you are getting a monthly salary of 75,000. From this 10,000 to this addition of 75,000, your family's income level has increased. And with an increase in the income level of your family, what will happen? Your standard of living will increase. Now, a very good example. This is not from your examination perspective. This is a theory in economics, but not at all important for your examination. But just to make you understand what is this concept, I will explain it for you so that you will get a clarity regarding it. Now, this is called, okay, okay, I'll give you the example directly. When your income was only 10,000 rupees, okay, when your family income was only 10,000 rupees, you have a lot number of expenses to meet. So what you will do for food, you will purchase what is available in the ration shops or through the public distribution system. Okay. Now, when your income level increased, will you again purchase from ration shop? Maybe. Many of them might do that. But still, you will still prefer to go for better quality. Standard of living has increased. Now, your younger brother or sister, she was a school going, or he was a school going student, and he was attending government school. Now you thought your family income has increased from government school, you have changed to private school or English medium or like better school. Okay. Now earlier you used to visit the government hospitals whenever you had an emergency, and that was because you cannot afford private services. Now you will prefer for private service. Suppose earlier you were using a bus. Suppose from your place, your house to the workplace, there is some 30 kilometers and you have to change 2 or 3 buses. It's not convenient for you. Now your income has increased. What you will do? You will at least buy a scooter. Even though initially not a car, at least a scooter or a bike or whatever. So this is how your standard of living increases. Now, the transport sector has seen a boom, especially in the last few decades. Why? Because of the development. Now, because of development, what happens? Growth and development. Because growth is already included in development. Because of growth and development, what will happen? The standard of living of people will increase and their income levels will increase. Why? Because when a country develops, we have seen that development is a qualitative concept. So when a country develops, apart from growth, what will also happen? Growth means only in terms of GDP and where there are high number of inequalities. In case of development, the inequalities will reduce. Then apart from that, the government services will improve, and apart from that, more number of employment opportunities will there, etc. So your income will increase, your standard of living will increase. Now the transport sector has seen a boom because of this development, the faster pace of development. As the pace of development increased, more number of people started depending on private transportation, like their own vehicles. Now if you take the example of Delhi, one of the major problems in Delhi is that the high number of private vehicles on roads. A few years back, you must have seen a policy which is called odd or even, which means that on alternative days only you can use your private vehicle. Odd vehicles, the number plates, if you have a vehicle whose registration is in odd numbers, then you can use it this day, tomorrow you cannot. Only even numbered vehicles can be used the next day. This is because of the high number of vehicles on road, which causes the air pollution or contributes to the bad quality of air. Now because of this, what has happened? The air quality has deteriorated. It has led to pollution, deforestation. Deforestation, why? Because as the number of vehicles on road increases, the infrastructure should also increase. The roads, highways, bridges, etc. will increase, and as a result of that, more number of trees will be cut off. Then animal accidents. Why? Because of deforestation, human animal conflicts. Now the impact on human beings is that the air pollution increases. We have to breathe impure air, and it also, due to high emissions, it will also lead to global warming. The vehicular pollution, carbon dioxide, which is mostly polluted from the vehicles, it is a greenhouse gas, and high quantity of greenhouse gas emission leading to global warming, finally to climate change. So this is the contribution of transport sector, which is also largely an anthropogenic activity. Okay, I hope you got it. So this is all in this particular subtopic. So we have completed this subtopic. Okay, now I'll take up your questions. Okay, harmful gases, okay. Then mining, coal, lignite extraction. Yes, correct, Sumati. And ma'am, your telegram link is there but unable to link, disconnected. Okay, have you checked that? Just try once more. It's Joycey Joy Official. It's a public channel only. So Joycey Joy Official. So just try to join the channel. Okay, I think we will wind up for today. I'll again meet you tomorrow. We will take up the fourth topic from this particular unit. Okay. Okay, it's clear. So we will wind up. So take care. I'll see you again tomorrow the same time, 7 o'clock. Okay, until then, take care. Bye-bye.